A tool for people to connect with the universe and begin to understand it.
TalkZone.com, Internet Talk Radio.
This is Sports and Torts with David Spada and Elliott Harris on TalkZone.com.
This is David Spada along with my co-host Elliott Harris. Elliott, when you think of sportscasters, certain voices, when you hear them, you go, I know who that is. And the next gentleman we have on, his voice, when you hear it, you know exactly who it is. You go, that's Jack Whitaker. The guy's been doing it for years, but the voice is what makes him. He was calling those Triple Crown races for years, all four majors for golf. He actually covered the first Super Bowl, covered everything.
And it's not just the voice, but Jack Whitaker had something actually to say. He wasn't just filling up time on a broadcast. His verbal essays were well crafted. He definitely was worth listening to, and he had, as I say, something to say.
How you doing, Jack?
I'm just fine, Dave. Elliott, thank you very much for those nice words.
I mean, they don't make broadcasters like you anymore. A lot of them are just basically cookie cutter. You, like Elliott said, you gave something. The voice was there. You made watching sports enjoyable. I'm 39 years old, but I remember listening to you cover the golf, the horse racing, and in order to make golf interesting is not easy.
Well, I came along at a very good time. My timing was great in the early days of television, and we kind of all learned together, and I don't think I could make it today, to tell you the truth, but I'm very thankful for the career I did have.
Well, you were sort of like the Eric Severide of sports with your essays. Nowadays, it's just, a couple of talking heads back and forth, without giving it much thought. I'll assume a lot of time and thought went into your essays.
Well, I was very lucky that the producers let me do that. They had to make a little time for it. Sometimes I got a minute to do it. Sometimes I got 30 seconds. But it was a great challenge, and it was something I enjoyed doing very much. Very scary sometimes, but it was a lot better than the road, doing things by road. I was very happy to have the opportunity.
What was your favorite moment in sports?
My favorite moment? Oh, well, I've been so lucky. I was in it so long. I saw a lot of great things happen. I suspect if I had to put one, I would say Secretariat's Belmont victory. But there were other great things, a couple of good master tournaments, and the Open at Pebble Beach when Watson chipped in. I mean, there's so many, it's hard to pick one out.
I'll tell you what, this Secretariat, my kids saw the movie with my parents, and then when that DVD came out, they said, Dad, we want it. And they're 5, 6, and 7-year-old girls. They go, it's horse racing. But that horse, basically, they want to watch that movie all the time. It seems like it's not just for sports fans. It's a great story.
It was a great story, yes, absolutely. And there was a lot of people still today will tell you that he wasn't the greatest ever, but he certainly was the greatest horse I ever saw.
Did you think that, okay, that's the last Triple Crown winner we're going to see for a while?
I think so, the way the poor horse racing is going now. I mean, the favorite for the Derby this year is going to have 2 races before he goes to the Derby this year. That's not what it used to be like. They break down too easily now from a lot of medicines, and so we're a long way from getting it back to what it used to be.
Someone said that Secretariat, when he did the autopsy, his heart was twice the size of a normal horse.
Yes, absolutely. And that explained a lot of why he did what he could do.
We talk about drugs in sports with human beings, but with horses, it's been around almost forever, and not to the benefit of the horse. They, as you say, they become so fragile nowadays.
That's true, absolutely.
Is there any way that we could somehow get back to a less impure world of horse racing?
I don't know. I think one of the beginnings of that would be to get rid of all these medicines they give them. If a horse is not feeling good, don't race him. I mean, the old days, just going back to the 40s and the 50s and even the 60s, horses were racing 15, 17, 18, 20 times. You don't find that today.
The racing, I think, made them better. It made them stronger. Now they baby these horses, kind of like the athletes with like pitchers in baseball, and they can't do what they used to.
That's right, exactly. How many pitchers go 9 innings, huh?
Not too many. About as many as you get Triple Crown winners nowadays.
What do you think about what's going on with Tiger Woods in golf? A lot of people said that these other players have caught up to him, physical fitness-wise, talent-wise, and he's not going to break Jack Nicklaus's record because, again, he's kind of like there's other people who are just as good as him now.
Well, it's kind of hard to look at the future. The man has so much talent, and his heart was so much in it in breaking Nicklaus's record and becoming the best golfer ever, that I think he still must have a residue of that kind of feeling in him. And certainly he has the physical attributes, unless those leg injuries have taken something out of him. I don't know. I'm not privy to any of that. But certainly he looks like he can come back to where he was before, or at least approximate it. Where he was before was so great, and it's pretty hard to get there. But I think he still has a chance to catch Jack. It's going to be tougher. Each year it gets tougher. But I think it's too early to write him off.
Well, and he's also still young enough that
yes, absolutely.
He doesn't have to win 2 or 3 a year.
That's right.
I think part of the problem was he had the issues with his wife and it put a lot of pressure on him. But I think part of it's his management team and stuff. I think they pushed him to get married because look at 2 of the greatest golfers of all times, Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. Jack had Barbara Nicklaus. Arnold had Winnie Palmer, I believe her name was.
Yes.
And basically they were family men. Basically, you never heard anything wrong with them, and they had something to market. When Tiger was single, it's kind of hard to market a single guy. I think they wanted to create this whole family guy image where all you could go into golf design, all this, and I don't think Tiger was ready for it.
Well, you might be right about that. He certainly was. Getting married didn't really stop him, but it slowed him down a little bit, I guess. Or it didn't slow down Nicklaus or Palmer.
On the court, on the course, off the course, whatever. But we won't
We
won't get into all that stuff.
But see, Jack and Jack was able to handle all those children he had, and Jack was able to put in compartments various phases of his life. His family came first, golf came second, golf design came third, and he was able to do that as good as anybody I know.
Okay. So if we're building a Mount Rushmore of golf, do we have Nicklaus, Palmer, Bobby Jones? Anybody else go up there?
Oh, that's Ben Hogan.
Okay.
Sam Snead and Byron Nelson.
That works.
Yeah, and then a few others too. Tom Watson, I think, and Lee Trevino. There have been so many good ones, really. But the game has changed so much. The equipment has changed the game so much. It's hard to make comparisons now.
You got better equipment, and the courses are so meticulously kept, you're not going to get a bad lie.
Yep. You're right about that.
You know, can you imagine what Sam Snead would have done with the clubs that they have today?
This equipment and courses, yeah, it's nice to kind of dream about it and what Hogan could have done, et cetera, et cetera. However, their records are there, and it's hard, though, as I just said, to compare the Hogan days with today because of equipment and the condition of courses.
Jack, were you a golfer or you just covered it?
Well, I tried to be.
What was your favorite course you ever played?
Well, Ballybunion in Ireland, so I don't get in trouble here in the United States.
I'll tell you what, I'm a big golfer. Every golfer dreams of playing Augusta. Did you ever get a chance to play there?
I played it twice.
How'd you do?
I was lucky enough. On Monday after the Masters, they let the press go in and play if you got up early enough. And, of course, I got up early enough to play one year.
And how'd you do when you did have the chance to
Well,
play?
not too bad. I'll remember one thing. That was the year that Tom Weiskopf took an 11 at the 12th hole, a par 3. And the day I played it, the day after, I took a 2. I birdied the hole. That's my biggest memory of Augusta.
Boy, you could have turned golf pro and given lessons to Weiskopf. You could have made big money that way.
Yeah, but I think that he might have hit like a 9 iron, and I had hit a 5 iron or something.
You know what I miss? the celebrity golf tournaments they would have. You had the Bob Hope, the Bing Crosby. You don't have that anymore. And I used to enjoy watching on Saturdays the celebrities play with the golfers. Now it seems like no one wants to do it, none of these actors.
I beg your pardon, Dave?
It seems like no one wants to do these celebrity golf tournaments anymore. Like you used to have the Bing Crosby, the Bob Hope.
They're having trouble here with the Bob Hope here in Palm Springs. And you saw last week at the AT&T, nobody was up. None of the big guys were there. The West Coast is in trouble. In fact, the PGA Tour might be in a little trouble.
Why is that?
Well, they're getting such competition now from the European Tour. And the number 1, 2, and 3 golfers of the world maybe will not be playing over here too much.
Because isn't the problem that European pays the golfers to play whether they win or not? In the U.S., you got to win to earn your money?
That's right. That's one thing that I hope the PGA Tour doesn't change. The appearance money lures a lot of the guys over there to the European Tour, although those players have gotten better too. And it's a good thing for golf. I mean, my goodness, why should we have had the monopoly on the best golfers in the world?
No. But when you go to a golf tournament, though, you want to think that a golfer has a stake in winning so that he'll make some money rather than, okay, he's already got his money and he's just going out and playing 72 holes.
That's why Tiger went over there and didn't play here.
Yeah, Tiger's playing in Dubai because he got the big appearance money. You got Els over there. You got all the big-time players.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for that.
You know, what can the PGA Tour do about that to combat that?
Well, I hope they don't give in and pay appearance money. I hope they just stick to their guns and play on good courses and make them difficult as they can. Some of these course setups are so easy, they want to see a lot of birdies, you know. And but I don't know. It'll work out. It always does.
Jack, I see you covered the Olympics. Did you cover the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid?
No, I didn't.
Did you do most of the?
I did 84 Olympics, Los Angeles and Sarajevo, and I did Calgary and Nagano.
That 84 Olympics, I'll tell you what, that was one of the best run Olympics, and the guy who did it, Peter Ueberhoff, I remember that. He basically did a lot of stuff in L.A., and there was talk of him possibly being president of the United States one day because he knew what he was doing. He was a smart businessman. I
think of all the Olympics I was around, that was the best. And everybody said it was going to be terrible. The traffic would be terrible. It was wonderful. You got around easily. All the venues were accessible, and we had a great competition, even though the Russians didn't come.
Well, you know, that was back in the days of the Cold War, and you know,
yeah, mm-hmm.
we didn't. The United States didn't go in '80 to the Olympics with Jimmy Carter,
and that retaliation was '84. They didn't come here.
You know what? It's bad. I kind of miss going against Russia, where Russia was the enemy. And that was the Olympics. You took pride in your country. Nowadays, it seems like the Olympics, it's every 4 years, Summer Olympics, Winter Olympics.
And it's pro athletes, too. It's not the way it used to be.
Right. I miss the amateurs competing against other supposed amateurs from other countries and us beating those bad Russians or beating the
East Germans.
Yeah, they were different days then. Now I guess it'll be the Chinese against us or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep politics out of the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, and the Olympics for the longest time would say we have nothing to do with politics when they had everything to do with politics.
You're right.
But the problem with the Chinese is you don't know if the women are guys the way they look.
Well, some of them. We had that trouble with the East Germans.
Yeah, and understandably so. You know, you see what the drug testing did afterwards to some and what the drugs did to some of those people, and you go, I'm not quite sure what that is.
Jack, who was your favorite? Is there someone you met who you were kind of in awe of, kind of like I am with you now, where you say, I can't believe I'm interviewing this guy?
Was there what, Dave?
Is there somebody you interviewed who you were kind of in awe of and saying, I can't believe I'm interviewing this person?
Oh, many times. My goodness. The first time I had to interview Arnold Palmer, and he really didn't know who I was. That was kind of an awesome experience. And couple of presidents I've interviewed, that's kind of an awesome experience, too. Yes, many times I've been, you're always a little bit in awe of people who are the best in their field, you know?
this Arnold Palmer, till this day, he's still making money. He's got that Arnold Palmer drink out, and the thing is doing incredible sales for Arizona iced tea.
Yeah, I know.
But it's not the Arnold he drank, because from what I heard back in the day, it wasn't just half lemonade, half iced tea. There was a little liquor in there.
Well, there might have been a little vodka in there. Yeah.
Maybe more than a little. Who knows?
Everybody I know drinks Arnold Palmer's instead of iced tea, though.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's at my house. I've got my refrigerator filled with it. I got my kids drinking and my wife drinking. Everybody comes over, give me an Arnold, and they don't even know who Arnold is, but they see his picture on there, and this drink is just taking off.
Yeah, everything Arnold touches seems to turn out all right.
Maybe you could touch Tiger and give him his power to get him back on track.
No, but he might. He's won that Arnold Palmer tournament in Bay Hill a couple of times, hasn't he?
I'll tell you what, no one tells Arnold Palmer no. If Arnold wants you at his golf tournament, you're there, because that's like saying no to the President of the United States.
Yep, I'll boast. Absolutely.
So I assume you still pay attention to what goes on television. What do you think of this new brand of, I don't even know if we can call it journalism, that we have out there in the world of sports?
Well, I don't. I watch as much as I can. Things have changed. There's a different culture now than when we were in the business, and some of it is much better than it used to be, and some of it isn't. I think most of the guys talk too much now. We even talk too much in my time. But it is a picture medium, and sometimes it sounds like a radio. But basically, I think the announcers today are better than they were in my time. They're more knowledgeable. I just wish they wouldn't talk so much.
Thank you very much, Jack. It was a pleasure talking to you. I wish you were still covering the PGA Tour and stuff. It would be a lot more exciting than some of the guys they have now.
Well, thank you so much, Dave and Elliott. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the legendary Jack Whitaker, a guy who just transcends time. That voice, you hear it and you know it's Jack Whitaker.